Hello, very warm welcome to all of you in Women Economic to Forum 2016. Now we will start our session and Doctor, please come in and share your thoughts.
Thank you. Now, here the agriculture plays a very important role in the food production, and where a lot of innovation has been done, and how the biotechnology plays a very important role in the agriculture sector, and also indirectly to help in the improvement of the economy. So the Indian agriculture is mainly depends upon the farmers, and you might have seen or read lot of there are huge and cry, and where the drought and there is no rainfall and sufficient water is not there, and where we face lot of problems in this one, and where also we have seen the suicide deaths in the farmers suicide death. So these are some of the problems where the Indian, because Indian economy is mainly depends upon the agriculture, and not only in the agriculture, even farming of animals in the veterinary and other things, and horticulture also, where it plays a very important role. And where the in this one, just I will touch upon, my senior colleagues are here, where they are basically specialized in the agriculture sector, and where now the excuse me this, yeah, yes, yeah, well, that's. Now, the biotechnology plays a very important role. The exploitation of biotechnology development versus the developing countries. Greater difference. At the beginning of 21st century, the developing countries are moving forward, especially India, China, Brazil, South Africa, Mexico, and Thailand. While Europe is cautious, but moving food is not a problem. Now, the technology for food versus medicine. So, this is the one. Genetic engineering in medicine went ahead without any question. So, over 70% drugs have rDNA intervention. So, the recombinant DNA technology also plays a very important role in the production of the crops. The genetically modified technology in food and agriculture is much debated. The developing countries have started adopting this technology heavily. As of now, developing countries do not have high-end R&D capabilities for development and biosafety testing on their own. In the world population, to increase at least 10 billion over the next 50 years. Over 90 to 90% living in low-income developing countries and under conditions of poverty. More than 2 billion people have no food security, and 852 million of them are chronically malnourished. So this is another very important point. When the mother, during pregnancy, where the mother suffer from malnutrition, that will affect the growth of the baby inside the mother womb. Now 6 million children under the age of 5 die each year as a result of hunger and malnutrition. Now, many killed by the effects of chronic hunger and malnutrition that leaves them weak, underweight, and vulnerable. Now, food production challenging. Again, uh, the arable land and nourishing every year as it is diverted from industrial, residential, recreational, and other human needs. Other resources like water, fertilizers, and labor are also becoming scarce and costly. You might have seen last year how much we have suffered. We have suffered a lot because of rainfall. The water level has gone down, and very difficult task in providing the water resources even for drinking purpose. So we are see even in such, you see, these are all very big hotels, 5 star, 7 star hotels are there where recycling of water is taking place. The water which is there, again they recycle, they treat and recycle the water. So much of problem we are facing now because of less in the rainfall. So the charging, all borewells have dried up, and where we find droughts, and where the farmer face a lot of problems, and he will go for the his own way of this thing. Now, Even the fertilizers and labor are also becoming scarce and costly. See, the fertilizers where we mainly depends on the fertilizers where we are using, and that will cause a lot to the plants. Now, the more than 30% of our crop yields are lost to biotic factors like pests, diseases, and weeds, despite spending heavily on chemical pesticides. The pests are ever born because man has this planet has been formed 7 billion years ago. So just it took 3 billion years just to form a life on this earth. So out of the formation of the origin of this earth, where we are facing a lot of problems in the pests. On one side the pests are evolved, and another side the man has discovered a lot of pesticides and the chemicals to control the pest. And that will have so much of environmental impacts. Even the pesticides which we are using, so a lot of the effects on the human population. And we have seen where the storage of these pesticides leads to so many diseases, including cancer. And we have seen even a woman or a man working in industries, in the pesticide industries, where it leads to the sterility. Where the production of now, what we have observed in the production of the sperms or the semen, it is decreasing day by day. The man is losing his reproductive potential because of all these ingredients or the environmental hazards what we are facing. Even it leads to amenorrhea or oligomenorrhea where the woman is working in such industries. Now this pesticides has to be controlled. At the same time, we have to control the pest, that biological control. We can go for biological control of the pest because on one side these pests are increasing day by day, and also on another side where the man has discovering number of chemicals, and these chemicals will have so many side effects not only in the human being, even in other life. Now crop losses due to abiotic stresses like drought, cold, heat and salinity are high and unpredictable. These are all the very serious problems where we are facing. Now two major challenges to confront: to produce enough food to satisfy the needs of the huge population, to ensure that the food is equitably distributed. Poverty, lack of purchasing power. Some 42% of the world population rely on their own efforts to feed themselves. Nutritional deficiency in children and women also plays a very important role in this sector. So this is what the challenges what we faces. So number one, the effect of drought. Just now I told. So how much we are losing, the food production is going negligibly more than 50% because of water. And that is how we want to produce biotechnologically. We want to transfer the genes by cloning process, that drought resistance genes. So even the less water if it is available, so it can yield. Now the another important is malnutrition. So you can see how the baby that is suffering and by the malnutrition suffer from many diseases. So this is the ones where if the water more and where the floods are there, again the plants emerge, that will have. So many more challenges, specific genes and the QTLS have major effects. The biotechnology can play a role in these aspects. Now can biotic help? Break yields barriers, improved productivity, improved quality of foods and grains, minimize chemical inputs, pesticides and fertilizers, integrated pest management, this is also very important, disease and nutrition management, management plays a very important role, then drought tolerance, moisture, salinity, high temperature. Now specific problems in rural India, so that is the ones where we are facing the malnutrition, undernourishment, micronutrient deficiency, anemia in women and children, strict consumer preference, then vitamin A, iron, jadon deficiency. As biotech can play a crucial role in finding solutions. So all these malnutrition where we are able to produce vitamin A rich crops. So the food grains. So we can replace it. So vitamin A deficiency or B or C or D, even only the D vitamin that is manufactured in our body. Rest of the vitamins where it has been we have to depend on the plants. Vitamin A, B complex and vitamin C and K. So all these things we have to depend on the plants because they are the one main sources where they synthesizes. But vitamin D, it is synthesized by our skin with the help of ultraviolet rays. So that is the one. Now, so what are the potential applications of biotechnology and where we do stand currently? Now, this is the whole story of how the biotechnology plays a very important role in the one G of animals, that is genetically engineered of animals. And that is how we are able to produce the dolly by using this technique. So where now the dolly is not there, and the generations what we have seen in the Weizmann Institute of Technology. Now G of biocontrol agents against plants, pests and diseases. So again, so these are the one which we produce by. Then plant protoplast fusion also plays a very important role in the combinations. So where this is the one. Then the embryo transfer technique. This is a wonderful techniques where it is a boon for sterile couples. If the couples are unable to conceive and if you are unable to have the issues, then we go for this technique. It is a wonderful technique where we collect the ovum from the woman and also from the sperm from the same couple. If they are unable to produce, then we collect from different couples. We fuse them outside, it is called as in vitro fertilization. Then we transfer either the same mother or a different mother called as the surrogated mother. So these are the techniques where wonderfully we practice it in animals, and also now in the human being also we are practicing for the production. So this is one, that is embryo transfer and in vitro fertilization embryo transfer techniques what we are using for the sterile couples, that is a boon for the sterile couples. Now the another important one, the microorganisms. So this is another very new area where the microorganisms plays a very important role in almost all the needs of the society. You can see it, you can produce vitamins, you can produce drugs, you can produce all those. So in all medical biotechnology or pharmaceutical biotechnology, we use these microorganisms for the cloning purpose. And you are aware that insulin. Now the insulin is available in the humulin, which is again a boon for the diabetic patients. Now this insulin, earlier we used to kill the animals, we used to collect the insulin. And now that has gone. Now we are transferred the gene to E. coli, that is Escherichia coli. It is a bacteria where we are transferred the human gene. It accepts the human gene where a lot of the insulin we are producing, and this insulin we are using for the human to control the glucose metabolism in the body, to control the diabetes. So this is another the one. And then recombinant DNA for disease diagnostics. This is another important techniques where even whether it is a plants or animals or any diseases where you come across, where you are using this technique for the diagnosis of the diseases. So this is again a boon for us. So where the diagnosis plays a very important role before the treatment. So the doctor has to diagnose first, and then you have to go for the treatment, where these techniques, the recombinant DNA for disease diagnosis is also a very important technique